Hi everybody, welcome to podcast number 19 of Ondustry.org, the community for and by the people passionate about the manufacturing 4.0. Today we will talk about how we can reinvent the relationship between engineering team and manufacturing department. How to accelerate the time to launch new products where from a lot of industry it became definitely critical. PLM, Product Lifecycle Management tool, is a critical backbone of manufacturing companies. However, it is often considered as one of the most complex, rigid, and not user-friendly application with a direct negative impact on the necessary time to launch a new product on the market. However, since recently, some companies such as Tesla, as for the most known, have been able to strongly reduce this constraint using new tools and processes. Today, I'm very lucky to welcome Yousef Hooshmand, and please correct me if my pronunciation is not correct,
That's correct.
who has been able to change drastically this course with Mercedes, and is doing it again with NIO. Do we pronounce it NIO or NIO?
NIO.
NIO. Okay. Hi, Yousef. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm doing well.
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank you for the time you're taking to share your knowledge with the community. We will spend 1 hour together in which we will talk about you, of course, your experiences and why you focus your career on this topic for almost a decade now, which is impressive. Then we will talk about the problem you have identified about the PLM and what is your vision of the current situation and what kind of impact does it have on the businesses. And then we will finish with this conversation talking about the solution you have leveraged within Mercedes and NIO to change this paradigm. Is that okay for you?
Yep, that's great.
That's cool. So I remind to all of you, your viewers, that you can write your question directly to Yousef into the chat area, and I'll be pleased to ask it on your behalf. So first of all, Yousef, let's start by knowing you a little bit more. Could you introduce yourself, where you're from, and your professional experience?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thanks for having me in this call. I would be glad to share some of my experiences. We have also Joe's there. I think if I tell something wrong, please correct me. And other experts also are in the round. I'm not the only PLM expert here in this round. Sure. I studied. From my educational background. I started with mechanical engineer, and every mechanical engineer. Sure, you start with designing something with some CAD tools. It could be, for example, let's say CATIA or Renix, or actually SolidWorks I worked with, and then after some time you understand, oh, it is more than in engineering. It is more than what you just design something. There is more into it, and in the start and the process, in the beginning process that comes in the between and the entire engineering tool chain. Very soon I was lucky to have some courses at Technical University Darmstadt, TU Darmstadt, and to visit some courses that was more about PLM, about the BOM, about the engineering tool chain, and everything that is. And it was fascinating for me. It's like, and it was like ignited fire inside me. I said, yo, that's something that I can work for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. I don't know how long I will go to work. And then I really tried to stick to that topic because, sure, it is a broader aspect, not one tool PLM. It is product lifecycle management, the engineering tool chain, systems engineering, model-based system engineering, all coming to that topic that I worked in during last 13, 14 years or 15 years, something like that. And that was why I decided to come to this topic, and this is why I work during my study, my PhD, everything. I try to stick to that topic, PLM, systems engineering. Yeah.
It's funny to understand that a young man of 20 years old ish has decided to dedicate it part of his life to PLM, and at least for me it's a surprise. And you've left you spent a lot of time in the university environment, and something like 10 years.
Yes.
And then you've joined Mercedes. Why did you left the university environment for Mercedes?
I was, yes, I have done my PhD and my postdoc, about 2.5 years, something like that. I have done my like a postdoc at university, worked on,
Yeah.
and it was that they were both my PhD and postdoc were directly industry projects. My PhD was about 4 years for Siemens Energy in Duisburg and Mülheim, and my postdoc was also for some other companies working on systems engineering, model-based system engineering, and linking to the PLM. And the for me also it was always important that all the things that I developed was based on the direct need that it was in the industry, not just because I know that there are all other also academic topics that we have. Some of the topics that are really theoretical, it needs to be academic, it needs to be go in that direction. My focus was to be more based on the needs that user has, try to understand what we have currently, what
Yeah.
are the needs and pain point of user, and develop something that satisfies that needs and it has.
Okay.
Then after my postdoc, actually I had still at that time 1 year at least contract at the university. Then there was a good offer from Mercedes and said, oh, let's join Mercedes. I talked with my professor at that time, and he said, no problem, Yousef, you can
Okay, so the user-centric approach that you're preaching for the software tool, you applied to yourself. You applied it to yourself, and it's very interesting to see that. Let's now talk about the problem. 1 year ago, you've published an amazing paper, and maybe Ashok, you could share the link to this paper in the chat room. That explained that you might need up to 100 software tools and interfaces for data exchange to manage the product lifecycle from concept to retirement. Can you explain a little bit what consequences such an IT environment has on users and on the business side? And could you maybe please you answer depending if the business is being disrupted, such as car manufacturing, that you very well know, and maybe a more steady businesses?
Yeah, actually the number of tools that are in use, it's something about 500 to 800 tools. It's
Oh,
not,
come on.
yeah, we are talking about 100 data handling tools that are more than 100, that they have their own database and something like that they handle some data. If we consider authoring tools, we easily talking about 500-600, maybe even more. If you can talk also, the numbers is not coming from me, is from other experts, and I discussed with other companies, OEMs, German OEMs, that they have this number. And also at Mercedes there was also similar number, and now at NIO we have also not that big number, but still a quite impressive number of authoring tools. When we consider the data handling, we have about maybe 100 or more than 100 data handling tools with databases and the likes. But the problem is not the number of tools, but the problem is how the tools are used and integrated. It means we can have 200 tools, but if they are, we have a correct way of integrating, we come to the solution part regarding how to maybe a data-driven or data-centric approach works. But currently, for example, and it's not the problem of tools also. One tool can be used in one place, great result, delivers great result. The same tool, if we integrate it wrongly in the environment, then deliver nothing, or actually prevent the users or prevent the engineers do their job correctly. Therefore, it's not a tool question. It is how we use that tools in the landscape. And the pain points was that also many tools, especially in the, let's say, OEMs, old OEMs, that's legacy. They have legacy systems. And they are rigid, they cannot be changed so easily. If you change something, suddenly you need to consider 50 other tools that are linked to that system. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, you want just to have one attribute, this is 6 digit, you want to change from this 6 digit to 8 digit. It is easy, just one change. And then suddenly you need to communicate with 50 other people, 50 other tool owner to say, hey guys, we want to change this attribute, especially if they are enterprise attributes, important attributes that are critical for the business or the process. These are the problem. And as I said, I focus here, the number of tools is not a problem, but how the tools are built in the landscape as a whole, and also the legacy systems anyway has their own problems that they are really hard to, and there is no knowledge of how they have been developed. Sometimes you have codes, specific code, sometimes you have a good quality code, sometimes bad quality code. You don't have a knowledge of who developed it 20 years ago. And to be honest, for 20 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe the pattern of development was different from now, and the engineers that we have now we develop differently, and in 15 years it will be also again something
Of
else. So
course, yeah.
you cannot expect that, oh, this is bad or this is good. No, they developed with the best things that they could do. 15 years ago it was the best thing they could do, and now we do the best thing that we can do, and in 10 years we look back and say, oh, what we have done 10 years ago. Therefore this is the problem, and not yeah, as I said, the integration. But yeah, short, maybe what was the pain point?
No, okay. And reading at your paper, my understanding is that you focus a lot on the landscape of the PLM, not only on the tool. And you've worked on the PLM topic for a decade now, as already told. And what is preventing the PLM landscape to allow the PLM to grow or to foster a culture of change? Because right now all the company have to change, the product, the market, everything. The variability is very high. And what is the main problem of the PLM landscape, and not only of the tool, but the landscape around the tool that you have identified?
Yeah, the biggest problem that I see is that they are not developed data centric. It means data is handled as third class citizen. If we want to be in the to have a landscape to use all these fancy AI tools or whatever we have there, or not even that, we don't need to actually to talk about AI. We just, if we stick to the efficiency and how to improve efficiency, how to change things, as long as we consider data as just something that is byproduct, then we have a rigid design. We have a wrong mindset. The data should be handled as first-class citizen, and the data and the design of the landscape should be data-centric, which means first data, and then based on data and the data movement, we see, okay. And the second aspect is user centricity. We need to develop the landscape based on user needs. It means if we develop it just, oh, we found a tool, they have some nice functionality, let's buy it and install it. That is good, but it doesn't consider the business capability in one company. The business capability of one company is different from the business capabilities of the second. Even in car manufacturing, they cannot, there are aspects that are similar, many aspects are different, and therefore you cannot just buy one tool, install it and say use it. It's not the way that the business capabilities needs to be supported. Therefore sometimes we have one domain, let's say one business capability, do something, and they need to work with 3, 4, 5 different tools. Why? Because they just bought tools and applications, install that tools and applications, and the users of one domain, they need to work with different tools to get their job done, instead of have, let's say, to limit it to only one user interface, one whatever solution they need, and then the data is scattered automatically to different places. It means the one tool do it in one, data is going.
Okay, so data is siloed. Data is siloed.
And the user interfaces are siloed, and the services are siloed. Everything is siloed. And but the ideal way is to we have a user-centric mindset. We need to say, okay, what are the business capability that we have, and then design it in a way that use the tools in a way that they satisfy the needs of that business capability, and as less as possible switch between interfaces, switch between user interfaces. This is one set. Again, also the data needs to be considered, that if we want to have, even if it is necessary to have multiple tools or multiple application, that is sure, but still it should be handled in a way that the data flows integration, and I call it relationship management platform, or that we how there are also tools, IBM or other tool provider also provide some solutions for that, how to link the information from one tool to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, and use it for some impact analysis, etc. As it is, yeah, just short answer to
yeah, but I know it is a complex answer to a simple question, but of course, yeah, user centricity, having data available everywhere and every time, and having this data adaptable and extendable is these are great principles. But the next question will be probably the most complex: is how do you transform a legacy company, and how do you transform a legacy system? What are the new technology that will allow you to transform a legacy system today? I guess it is the time that everybody has to fasten his seatbelt, because it will become maybe a bit technical, but I think it's important. Maybe you have three, four main techno or maybe approach, not techno, but approaches that you could explain us, and why the context has changed drastically for the past 15 years.
Yeah, when I say I want to start to, let's say, go to a new company, I say they have some legacy landscape and we want to, let's say, modernize it to bring it to this decade. The first thing is that we start with the business capability. We see what are the business capability of this company, and then let's say we use V model as our reference model, and then say, okay, they have some design here, requirements engineering, whatever they are, all the business capabilities. As I said, this could be similar to other companies partly, but indeed each company has its own landscape. Then we have the landscape, we design the business capabilities without consideration of any tools. First of all, think free, what are the real business. Then we match, we say these guys that are in this business capability, what they are using. For example, let's say we are going to in the design phase. Oh, okay, which tools are you using? Which authoring tools are you using? Which data handling tool are you using? How is the data flow with other business capabilities downstream and upstream? We do the analysis. We do really just understanding the workflow that is happening. Then the third step is that we go and says, okay, the first select one business capability is that has the most pain points. Let's say had a scattered tool that scattered a lot of maybe 3, 4, 5 tools are used in one business capability, and the users have a lot of pain points switching between these tools. Or maybe it is very crucial for other businesses to get some consistency in the data, or whatever the reasons is. Then select a domain, do some experiments on it, how we can consolidate all that functionalities, because the functionalities are the tools, as I said, are not good or bad. They are just there. And then you see, based on that capability, select one tool, select one solution. Maybe it is an in-house development, maybe it is a off-the-shelf software, and to get that things for the business capability. And in all cases, always consider how easy it can be integrated in the entire landscape. These are just very high-level suggestions. And just maybe I forgot something to mention, that you cannot do it without the support. First of all, without a knowledgeable team. I mean, you need to build that knowledge. You need a team, external and internal, let's say a company and an external partner together. And second, is very important to have the support from CIO, from department,
stakeholder.
Stakeholder. If they are not really involved in the process, nothing works. At Mercedes, how it went forward, because the CIO, the department lead, the team, and the team leads, everyone were there, very interested, and they engaged with the topic, just not as a manager. Okay, this is your €2 million, good, go do it. No, they really try to understand and work. The same is at NIO, why it is working, because the top management is involved. They just to understand, to discuss, to say how things are going forward, how we can use this to be more efficient, to have a better quality, and so on and so on. And when the top management is involved and consider IT, enterprise IT, and the landscape as something important for the company, and some, let's say, some IP of the company, even I can consider it, then it goes forward. But if they see it as some cost factor, nothing works. You can have the best technical solutions,
Yeah.
nothing works.
Yeah. And reading at your paper, I remember three main techno plus approaches that you used for the transformation. The first one is the semantic web techno. The second one is the DDD, and the last one is data mesh. Could you explain me as if I was 5 years old?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know the most complex is here. What are these three things, and why is this so important to be well leveraged for the transformation?
First of all, for me, I just want to again start with the philosophy.
Yeah.
The philosophy is to be data-centric, user-centric, and build for change.
Yeah, please.
Three aspects. The third aspect that I didn't came to is that you design the landscape and the tools for change. It means you are not designing the best software. You are designing a software that is adaptable and can be easily changed or adapted to new requirements. They are the main three requirements. Let's say, no matter what you are doing, the first three that you need to consider. At least I consider it in my work. I consider it in Mercedes, and consider it new, and no matter where I will be in future also. Then you have the technology, you have a tool set, and you have a team. Well, let's say at Mercedes, I need to consider it is what was a unique situation. It is a really knowledgeable team, a big knowledgeable team, motivated team. And then at that time, we analyze different possibilities to achieve that three goals. What are the tools that we can use? We said the model should be, we said, okay, we want to understand what is the semantic of our landscape and semantic of the data models. We use, therefore, semantic web technology, languages, RDF, all, etc., to design for, let's say, to design the model of the software that we are developing. I don't want to be, I am not an advocate of, let's say, I'm not saying, okay, semantic web technology should be 100% used. This has benefits. There are other tools also have benefits. At Mercedes, we used it. Why? Because first of all, also we had three people with very knowledgeable skill in that area in the team. But it wasn't only because of that, because we analyzed and said, when we want to have a model that it can be semantically used to link different aspects, also considering OSLC topic, etc., then it was a promising language that we used. Therefore, we used all Shackle and RDF to build a model of our softwares. For some cases, for example, for some use cases, it was important to have some performance in answering some queries. Sure, we brought the data up, we built some, let's say, in-memory graph, RDF graph, and we have done some analysis requirements that they were maybe 10 years, 12 years waiting the people for some, because it was so intensive, we couldn't support that use case. But just by using this technology, building a graph, and then querying that graph that there are a lot of dependencies or traversing, then we could answer that question much more. It means, and it is a case-by-case study, not, as I said, it is not, companies are not academic. They don't say, always use everywhere, use only RDF, everywhere use it. They just, the performance and the efficiency are the most important things in the company, and so we want to achieve them, we want to improve them. What is our tool set, what is our team, what we are knowledgeable of, and then try to use that systems to go. So, and then we are going to the data driven or sorry, domain driven design or data mesh. Actually, they are both of them are one topic we can consider it. Just data mesh is an extension of domain driven design. I see it as to consider data as also a first class citizen, to consider data as an important topic in the entire landscape. And we use it to, let's say we have one business capability, and that business capability we use domain driven design to design that business capability. Let's say we want to if it is an in-house development, let's say there is a tool that we get by, or let's say it is an in-house development for one business. You do some event storming to analyze what are all the objects that are happening in that business capability or domain. You define the boundaries of that domain. Then you design the needed the data model of that domain together with the stakeholders, with the users, and then design the software and goes forward. Then the solution is created based on the direct feedback from the users. And we go from one domain to the next domain to the next domain. Some domains, there are very good tools you could get in the market. Some domains that doesn't exist, so some good tools, therefore you need to develop it in-house.
Okay. I think now everybody is waiting for a concrete example. And how did you do that at Mercedes? Maybe could you start to explain us what was the first problem you wanted to solve? And then how did you manage it? What went well? What went not so well, unfortunately, because shit happens. And what was the journey you went through?
I can give you some examples both from Mercedes and NIO. There are, at least the Mercedes topics are published, and the NIO topics, some of them are rough at a high level. I can give some examples. First of all, you need to consider that the situation of Mercedes, why we decided that paper that you read to go in that direction, was that the PLM system of Mercedes was based on Metaface, or still is also partly based on Metaface. Metaface is an old system that goes to be deprecated in a few years. And then Mercedes needed to decide to go, are we going to switch to, for example, Teamcenter or Dassault Enovia or other PLM solutions, or we build our own. They have you need to know that one of the biggest PLM departments probably existing in a company is the Mercedes. They are very knowledgeable. They are very skilled. They have a good mindset. They have a team spirit. And then they said, and the management support. All this came together and said, let's develop our own landscape. I don't write that for other companies. I know the big companies, almost the size of Mercedes, they have 20 people in the PLM department. What they can do? Nothing. Really, it's so. At Mercedes, we are talking about more than 200 people, internal and external resources, and very knowledgeable teams. And therefore, it was, Mercedes has a unique situation in the at NIO. We have also a big team. We build a big team, but the knowledge, you cannot compare a 20-year experience in PLM in that company with let's say a new company that's we are here. Sure, we have very good knowledgeable people also at NIO coming from other companies, but still to be a team to work 20 years together is not there. It is something else that you need, just like a football match, that everyone is really so linked and working together. Therefore, you need to consider the fact when you are to suggest how to develop something for other company, also for your company. And therefore, I said the process is always start with business capabilities, see what are the resources, what is missing, and going forward. And what there was a lot of learning curves also. It wasn't so that, we know exactly we want to do in that way, done. That paper that you read, maybe after iteration number 100, we got there. And no, you don't know when you start that transition where you are going, where you are will you be in, let's say, in 5 years or 3 years or even in 2 years. You just have a goal. You say, this is our objective, let's go in that direction, and you do something, oh, we need to a little bit adopt, and again a little bit adopt, and again a little bit adopt. This is how the things are working. And one example that I'll also, as it's published, I can talk about it, is this was a domain that the domain users used, let's say three or four different applications to do their work. And there was a lot of pain points, sometimes manually do something here, and then, oh, okay, the data is not here, then manually move there, and then again do something here,
So
and then again do something.
I guess Excel was the answer.
And Excel also was part of the solution, but there was other tools really with database, with really and good tools. It's not they weren't bad tools; they were good tools, but the functionality were scattered in three different tools. And said, okay, and they were legacy systems, not
Of
so
course.
easy to change, and partly based on, let's say, some COBOL or some other language written that wasn't so easy to change. And then what was that? Let's say we develop one domain for it, and then this domain, all business functionalities that this domain needs, this business capability or domain needs, let's put it in one place and in one domain. Then we brought it in, let's say, in one application with accessing the data one place, so that this manual joins and these things are reduced. This is one of the use cases that I can talk about what we have done, and is, I think, partly written in the paper or presented in some ProStep symposium or something like that. That was some presentation in that topic, on that topic.
Okay, and in terms of business impact, business outcome, can you explain what has been this impact for Mercedes? I don't know. Have you been able to divide by 3 the time to market? Have you been able to? Can we have a rough idea of what might be the impact of a better data management?
Yeah,
Data structure?
just first of all, I am not, since 15 months, I am not anymore at Mercedes. Therefore, to make it clear, your question regarding Mercedes, I can partly answer. Therefore, maybe you invite some of my colleagues and my ex-colleagues, and then they can. But there wasn't, at least with the time that I was there, we didn't analyze anything that, let's say, it is time to market or the quality or the cost, etc. The goal is then you have a philosophy for the enterprise. I said again, user centricity, data centricity, build for change.
Build for
You
change.
have these three in mind. Again, but it is important, what I'm also doing at NIO is that you link this, first of all, this is like your 3 main goals that you have, that you develop everything based on these 3. But still, when you are doing something, you link what you are doing to the company needs. Company was, let's say, wants to increase efficiency yearly by 2%, 5%, 20%, whatever.
Yeah.
Company wants to have a better quality. It means less quality issues in the startup production by so many percent. Company want to reduce cost by so many percent, and so on. Let's say we have 10 company goals. Then we define the measures that, let's say, in next 5 years, this is our measures to go forward. And we see, okay, this one pays off on here, this one pays off here, this one pays off here. If there is a measure that doesn't pay off anywhere, we delete it. We don't need to do it. Why?
Okay.
It means therefore it is a top management involvement is important, that management says, yes, I invest money in it, I invest time in it, I give you time, 3 years, 5 years to work on it. We deliver anyway every 3 months, 2 months, every a few weeks, we deliver something new. But the goal is, it is my company goals. I want to increase.
Okay, but so does it mean that the C-level you work with did a kind of leap of faith? So they had the hinge, they had a gut feeling that data centricity, user centricity, build for change was a very good principle that should have positive impact, but they were not sure before starting that this could deliver anything?
No, the mindset is different. No one is sure what's happening, because it is agile development. At Mercedes, it was, as I said, until CIO level and even higher was involved in the process, and they support and say how we want to, let's say, this is the status that this is the situation that we have currently, and we want to go to the next level. What are the possibilities? And no one knows the 100% answer. We let's say you know what you want, but the way to get there is
Yeah,
not completely written or defined. It is
yeah.
a way that you need to go and define and adopt and define and adopt and change and got there. The role of management is that doesn't lose face or just say, okay, give up on you. The role of management is that, yes, this is what we want to achieve, and yes, we are here and we want to be here, and let's, okay, we don't know the entire way, and then let's do it together and get up there.
Ah,
And
that's really interesting in terms of mindset, because uh, you know, in manufacturing world, a lot of time C-level are asking for a certain ROI, and if you do not show predictable ROI, they do not invest. And what the Mercedes management done is they had a gut feeling. They were almost certain that something should happen. They didn't know yet how, but they took the risk and they took their chance,
they trusted the team.
and they trusted the
They
team.
trusted the team and said, okay, what we lose is, yes, time and some money, but if we don't do it, we lose more. It is for every company. If either you do something or you wait, the situation will be worse. And as I said, I am, and this was the way that Mercedes followed. At NIO, we do it the same. Yes, we have a tool set, we have some PLM solutions, we have the pipeline, and we see each piece of it. Okay, this tool we got from, let's say, from this tool vendor. We are happy with it. Okay, that's okay. Then we go to the next one. We see how we can integrate it in other tool or tool chain. Is the next capability, is there anything in the market? Yes, use it. Not develop it yourself. Complaining that this tool vendor is not good and the other tool vendor is not good on the third tool vendor, it doesn't solve the problem. Sometimes that's you read comments or here and there everywhere. Just this tool vendor is too rigid or closed or not. Then don't use it if you are not happy. Really, the important things is that you design the landscape, you design the entire landscape based on business capabilities. You see what you can get from the market. Let's say there is you are happy with Teamcenter, then do it. You are happy with Enobia for aspects, then do it. You install it, you just get it in house, and then we say the entire pieces of puzzle. But you need to be owner of the landscape. The tools come there where you need them, CAE tool, CAD tool, etc., everything that is needed. But the owner of the data flow, the owner of the design of the architect, the entire design needs to be you. If you don't have the knowledge to follow these three principles: usability, data centricity, and build for change, you need just to get someone, to hire some architects. And so just for myself, I have different roles. I have, let's say, call myself technical manager or manager for PLM or modernization PLM, etc. But I use always one of my roles that I use, lead PLM architect. It is the most important thing for my other ones. Maybe manager, this manager, maybe they are more fancy, but I don't. It is more important that you have one person that take care of the architecture of the landscape, take care of these end-to-end processes, and see how the data flows work, how every aspects are working.
Let's say that we have a PLM manager, architect, whatever you call him or her, in the call. What would be the best practices or your best advices that you can give to him or her about how to manage the transformation in terms of people management? And by people, I mean not only the top management, how to convince the top management that it's time for movement.
Sorry,
right now.
wrong question. The top management should be here and ask, please help, ask these guys, please help to transfer the business. Or they are going, they will, they will be not anymore existing. They will go bankrupt or whatever.
I agree, but you know that the data maturity of top management in the manufacturing vertical is not always the best. They know a lot about quality management, lean management, but data management, it's still new for them, for a lot of them. So is there any point that you would like to highlight to convince them that the time for change is now, because after tomorrow it's too late. And how would you how will you support the change management for the rest of the company, not only the top C-level?
Let's put the C-level aside. I will talk first about the company.
Okay, cool.
The user centricity.
Yeah.
At Mercedes, really, the users waited when we get it. When we get a new solution.
Cool.
At NIO is the same. When you develop something based on user needs, they ask, hey, I am waiting since 3 weeks. I say, guys, wait a little. Really, you don't need to be worried about the people.
That's cool.
Because when you follow the user centricity philosophy,
okay,
and you follow the domain-driven design approach, then you don't need to worry, oh, change management, everyone complaining, oh God, when I really don't answer these comments anymore.
The people can see what's in it for them, and their personal benefit, and they're happy with it.
They want to do their job. They don't want to work with tools. They want to do their job. They are expert in some aspect, some area, whatever. There is so many business capabilities. What is their job? The tool is just a tool that they use, and they are not there because of the tool. The tool is there because of the users. And then, therefore, it is important to see what they really need, what are their pain points, how we can mitigate it, and how we can improve that situation. Therefore, don't worry about the change management and tool resistance. The resistance, sure, you cannot always say everyone is happy. There is always maybe some person that say, oh, I don't like it. That's okay. This is the normal life, everything. Then we are coming back to the C-level. If the C-level doesn't know the importance of the entire, let's say, change, I'm sorry for that company. How to improve them is that what is, if we don't, I don't answer what we gain. I say what we lose if we don't handle now, if we don't do something now. What we lose. Actually, we should start 3 years ago. Let's say we are talking now. What we lose. And this is the answer that this company needs to answer on this C-level. I don't just ask a question, and they will they need to, in a meeting, invite everyone, ask a question. And a lead architect needs to have a direct link to the top management. At least in my role was possible, and I am doing it. And it's helped to push things forward. Otherwise, yeah.
I really like your approach. You know, it's a bit like about the trainings. Most of the time, people are asking how much does it cost to train these people, and they always forget how much does it cost not to train the people.
Yes.
And it's a very, very similar. In terms of technical knowledge and the skills of the team, what will be the organization you think we should set up? Do you think we should have a centralized, highly skilled department? Do you think we need to have some support at business level? How will you organize the team?
It should be a joint team. It's also written also in domain-driven design. I am not talking about just, it is also is academic actually level. But sure, you need a department, let's say what you call it, PLM department, or whatever you call it, engineering tool chain, whatever. This needs to have both the technical knowledge and also some business knowledge as to be owner of that topic that they are developing. At the same time, the involvement of the business is very important. You cannot ignore just you cannot ignore for example, the people in the business. They need to be part of the development process. They need to be weekly even reported to. I'm not talking about the team leads or department leads of that. No. The users, the key users needs to be reported, and the key users needs to say, no, I don't like it, or yes, I like it to say. And that key users later are responsible for the rollout. Therefore, they will be more careful to get the input of every other users out there in that domain. Because we are talking about the domain. Domains are usually, let's say a few dozens of people or maybe a few hundreds of people. And the key users usually knows other key users. They can talk together and say what are the best practices, how we can, what are the pain points. Therefore, this is the best aspect going. So my suggestion. It is also part of the domain-driven design. If you read the textbooks, you can follow this approach.
And because this technology and this approach are quite new, is it easy to get access to knowledgeable people
Yes,
to
first
find
of all, this is not new. This domain-driven design is existing since 2003. The first book is written, actually it's a start in 96 or something like that, but 2003 the first book, and it exists this knowledge and the development of microservices, how it works. This is the only piece that is missing still is the C-level and management level, that they want something like that. They have no clue what's there. And
Okay.
if there is an architect in the company, say we need this, and say we are producing no one in the company, because they don't understand the philosophy behind it. The philosophy is, when you have the user centricity, data centricity, build for change, then it goes forward. The only missing piece is these guys that needs to change their minds. Actually, as I said, I'm just talking about how it was successful, or at least since until when the time that I left Mercedes, and now it's new, is that there is a say, yes, we don't know how to get there, but it is important, let's go there. This is what's important from my perspective. And
And
sure, and if there is maybe some things are maybe missing, some technical knowledge, some you need some experts in that area, this area. If you want to use semantic web, sure, you need some experts of different, you need to hire them or find them, or some partner company. There are third party company that also supporting. These are the solvable solutions. The main solution that you need to first to solve is to have the C-level support. Yeah.
yeah, and as everybody is always in a hurry, do you? Of course, you will tell me it depends on the organization, depends on a lot of things, but how much time should we expect to get the first result between the start of this new approach of this transformation and yes, the first business outcome? Is it,
3 months
are we
maximum.
talking about
3 months.
1 quarter, 1 year, 10 years?
Maximum. If it is more than 3 months, don't believe it. It should be based on, again, is in the textbooks,
Yeah,
MVP, minimum viable products.
yeah.
When you design something, you want to say, in 5 years, I want to be here. And I am here, I don't know how to get there. And you first think about one piece and say, sure, you need to design the business capability, enterprise architect, the big picture, everything needs to be said. You need maybe 1 month or in company to do the analysis. Let's say 2 months, you need to do all these things. But as soon as you're coming to develop something, you develop always MVPs, minimum viable products. And there is a pattern in other podcasts, Share PLM podcast, I explained a little bit in detail how the migration from legacy to the new systems work, how you need first to focus on the read functionality and the write functionality. And so a little bit in that podcast, it is explained. I think we don't have time to go in that detail now here, but it is important that after 3 months, if the first result is not there, sorry, you have done something wrong. Because the
Okay.
approach is important. Minimum viable product needs to be developed. And this
So
was what we developed at Mercedes. And now it is what I am doing at NIO. Really, after a few weeks, you need to have that one.
yeah. So you have adopted a very agile methodology, looking for almost immediate results, which is something that we know well in our startup studio, because this is exactly what we do. So I'm fully aligned.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, do we have today to oppose the data lake approach and the data mesh approach, or is this one is a part of the other? And
Yeah, coming to data lake. It is all about the use case. If you have, let's say, if you have transactional data lake doesn't solve your problem. Really, data lake is just for analytical data. And if you want to get some insight and you don't want to write back to the data, sure, you can directly write back to the source system, etc. But they are analytical data. If you are talking about transactional data that are business data and the data that needs to be something changed, adopted, updated, then you cannot use data lake. Data lake is just giving you some insight. There are, as I said, again, I am not the expert in that area. I sure developed a few data lakes also and use also data mesh. But from my perspective, the majority of the work needs to be done based on data mesh philosophy and data domain-driven design. Some aspects we still need the data lake. It is a valid point. We still need it, and it needs to be built. Data from different things, aggregate them. There are different patterns how to get the data from different source systems. Partially, there as a hybrid solution. As I said, it's not a time to go in that detail how to develop the data lake to to best integrate it in the landscape. But yeah.
Yeah. And what are my last question will be, what are the minimum skills or technology knowledge that you should have within the team in order to be sure you'll be able to build your at least your MVP and maybe to go further? Is there 3-4 minimum skills you need to know in the team?
You need to in the team as a whole considered, you need to have the someone that understands the business.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be some technical guy. It's important that understand the language.
So
You need
user
someone,
centricity again and business centricity. Yeah.
everything starts with that. For sure, you need some front end designer. They need to follow a specific pattern that are important, modern pattern that's to design user interface. You need someone that can design the application, databases, etc. They are just some normal technical knowledge, and you need someone that is a architect of the landscape. As I said again, there is two kind of architect. We have one lead architect that is responsible for the entire landscape, and we can have a still application architects that, let's say, to develop this. And then you need to define the governance, which aspects needs to be centrally managed. Let's say the data model you use, let's say the communication layers that you use, etc. This is central. And but what is the maybe locally can be decided without always checking with the central guy or central system logger. They are also a part of the governance model, but it is a doable task.
And do we need knowledgeable people on I don't know, maybe some tech like graph database or things like that?
Sure. It is based on the, for example, for one domain, as I said, for one domain it is possible, not possible 100%. We need as there are some use cases also both at Mercedes there was, and also at NIO we have some use cases that the graph database is almost the only solution that performance with a good performance can deliver our result. There is no way around it. No way. It means, but again, it will be start first with the business capability and how to solve that problem. Yeah. And we say, for this problem, to make it efficiently solve the problem, we need, let's say, semantic web technology with some RDF graph, or no, we can use a Neo4j for property graph, etc., to go in that aspect. It means there are different ways, but but still, I think we have the problem is that we don't have much knowledge in the semantic web world. It means a lot of there are your companies like you that are expert in that area. I know that you can provide support, and then you can say, okay, we have two domains that need that knowledge. Okay, let's then get external partner. We don't need to hire someone. It is just a matter of at Mercedes this was the same. I don't know, 50% was internal resources, 50% external. At NIO is the same, 50-50 or something like that. This is the same in any other companies. It's the same. You have halfly internal, halfly external partner. It is important that the key roles needs to be internal. Key roles, if you have an architect, he needs to be, or she needs to be responsible and have the things overview.
Yeah, and Sinan is asking a question: how far should document management and the release of document be implemented in PLM?
Oh, it is. It depends on. There are companies that doesn't have any document management. In the case of Word, Office, etc., if we call it at document management, they have just some using completely either Microsoft 365 or there is Google Sheets, etc. And there are other solutions, very good solutions that almost eliminate the need for document management in PLM. Really, it is. There are use cases. I cannot now go in the details of who is using what, but no document anymore going to the PLM as a document in a file form PDF. Sure, as the result of, let's say, some statement needs to be stored there, as because this is long-term archive. So all these cases are clear. But the real doing all collaboration either with Microsoft, with Google, and there are other companies, big companies, at least in China, I know that very good tools provide. You don't need to anymore to go in PLM.
Okay, I will try to do a very dangerous exercise, trying to sum up the main the main ideas that you've explained to us for 1 hour. So first of all, we need a data-centric organization. we need to build a user-centric landscape, which is built for change and focus on business outcome. And then if we do that, we can expect to build an MVP with the first result within 3 months. Am I correct?
Yeah, no, more or less, yeah.
More or less, of course.
In 15 seconds, yes, that's great.
Okay. Yousef, I would like to deeply thank you for your time. It was an amazing sharing of your knowledge and experience. I guess if people in the audience have additional questions, they can contact you directly on LinkedIn.
Yes,
You can easily be found. The replay of this episode will be available soon. Stay tuned for the next one to come soon too. For those who are not yet part of our great community, do not hesitate to join us at ondustry.org. We'll be very pleased to welcome you. Thanks a lot and have a good day all.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Yousef.
Okay, bye.